First game, Mudz versus mjayce. Purple against red. Let's get rolling. If you hear me drinking, it's it definitely is alcohol, but I'm all fine, guys. Don't worry. All right, so we got Mudz across at the 10 o'clock position, or the sort of top-ish left, and that means that mjayce is going to be down here as the purple, down in the what's that? Half past five position. We'll call that one. All right, so just before we get to the interesting parts of the match, we've got it's a shame the guys aren't actually watching the stream, because effectively this map is all about, it's a lot about this sort of back area here. You got rocks that are protecting essentially the mains there, and then you got these corner expos here. There is one gold right in the middle here, which could be interesting in a Zerg versus Zerg, because normally it was a really hard map against the Terran, because the Terran can actually put tanks up here, cover the gold, and effectively cover a lot of these expansions. But yeah, this could be very interesting. The other things that you can do on this map, especially in Zerg versus Zerg, is to Night a Swarm over in the corners here. And you can, of course, put Night a Swarms down here and that sort of thing. Obviously, you really need to watch the rocks. That's a key part of this particular map. But we've got a 13 pull from Mudz, and then we still have no pull just yet from mjayce. Not really sure if this is going to be a fast expansion, but it definitely could be. This one, I suppose it is a little bit easier to hold a fast expansion. You've got this choke point here, and the ramp that's here as well. But I'm not really sure if that's the plan. We did get I think that was a 16 gas, and then a 15 pull, so we'll see what happens. As I said, really this map is a lot about the scouting. You got to keep an eye on the rocks here. You got to keep an eye on this sort of ramp area here if you can, and of course make sure that your opponent doesn't take the gold or this corner expo down here. Pull is now done for Mudz, and we'll see what is going to come out. No lings just yet. Mudz definitely is going to need to get this Overlord out, but it looks like roaches are going to be the play for the moment, and it looks as if a gas has been stolen by Mudz, which is pretty interesting. Calling out that he's a nub, that mjayce is a nub, and that's really funny, because of course gas steal doesn't really matter too much in Zerg versus Zerg, but we'll see if that may be the case. mjayce might want to go heavy roaches, like super heavy roaches. And its scouting drone goes down, getting bashed up by a pack of drones there. The queen has popped out now, and some inject is going down. Queen for Mudz has not popped out just yet, but the roach warren is now done. So roaches will be really interesting from the point of that the actual base is really huge. As you can see, these mains are like bigger than Texas or something like that. So we'll see if some nice roach might keep them alive. But it looks as if a macro hatch has gone up for mjayce, so we'll see if mjayce is going to just go mass lings, because of course in Zerg versus Zerg, mass lings can be quite effective if your opponent isn't actually ready for it. Of course, banelings are the easy counter to mass lings, but once you have a certain amount of roaches, you can actually stop any amount of lings, pretty much. Second gas is up. I would say Mudz is probably going to go for pretty heavy roaches. Problem will be for the moment, as we have a look at the income tab, is that Mudz is actually getting almost doubled in the income for the minerals at the moment, not to mention the gas has gone the other way. No gas currently coming from mjayce, so I would say there's definitely going to be a lot of lings once this second macro hatch goes up, and we'll probably see just a ridiculous spam of lings, not to mention, as you can see here, that the metabolic boost is just about done, so that's going to really give these lings a lot of power when they're running around the map, and especially given the short distance of this map. As you can see here, it's not really too far, not to mention if you can control that Zellnaga watchtower, you can actually see a lot of the map, and as we can see here, we have a total of 26 lings are coming out. They are going to run across the map. We're going to have to see if Mudz can actually control the ramp, because if these lings get up on top of the ramp, this is definitely going to be the death of Mudz. And as we can see, a spine crawler is now going up, but I think these roaches, no, they're not on hold position, so this could be interesting if mjayce has some micro. We'll see if mjayce is now sort of waiting around, perhaps not going to attack just yet, but the spine crawler now moving in position will make it a lot harder for the lings to get up the ramp. And I would say if we can get these on hold position, which they are now, that this attack will effectively be pointless. And as I said before, once you get that certain amount of roaches, then we have to block up that ramp. But it looks as if the lings get a run by, and that is probably going to be it for Mudz. There's not enough spine crawlers there, and a little bit of confusion as to how those lings got through. And as you can see, there are just too many lings here. There were something around about 40 lings when they ran in. Obviously, a lot of them have died to the spine crawlers and the roaches, but that is going to be it. Getting a little bit of lag there, but more lings streaming in. A little bit, just perhaps a little bit on tilt, maybe a little bit of Hydra there in Mudz, but I would say that is going to be it. As you can see here, the macro hatch coming into effect there with a lot of lings just streaming through here from mjayce. And that will be it for game number 1, and it's GG from Mudz. So that was a pretty good game there, a little bit unfortunate for Mudz that the roaches weren't really in proper position there, just a little bit, I think one of them was just sort of a little bit off to the left when it needs to be just a tiny bit further across, and that would have protected that, but it is all done and dusted. So